Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kate Tyler Webber, and my role here today is to help celebrate the life and pay tribute to the late Reginald Arnott. Reg passed away on the 31st of August. Reg was 94 years old. On behalf of Terry, Gay and Sharon, I'd like to welcome you each here today to the chapel to say a big heartfelt thank you to you all for your presence. The family would also like to acknowledge those that are not able to be here today with the current restrictions, but like to acknowledge on behalf of the families those that are watching online to say their farewells. Those of you that have joined us online today, firstly, the family would like to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join with us. Even though you are not here physically, your presence is certainly felt. Those here in the chapel are also thinking of you. Not being able to be here physically present is heartbreaking. Having to say your farewells through a screen is just not right. I'd like to make special mention this afternoon of those who are joining online, but especially to the grandchildren. Shane, Wayne and Erin, and great-grandchildren, Jaden, Jake, Eden, Isaac, Maeve and Ryan. Can I ask Gay and Terry to come and do the eulogy, please?
Thanks, Kate. In 1926, Dad was born at Concord Hospital to his parents, Arthur and Lillian. Arthur was a professional fisherman and, together with two others, was the first shark mesher in Australia. Both Arthur and Lillian were avid piano players, playing the piano for the silent movies and with a local band at many dances. Thank you. Dad had two sisters, Joan and Lynette. Sadly, Joan has passed, but she has left a great legacy with her children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And Auntie Lynette is alive and well, and she's with us today, and we're very happy she's here. Dad attended Concord Public School and in his senior years, Fort Street High School, where he was Dux of the Year. Fort Street was, and still is, a brilliant academic school and has produced many notable people such as Australia's first Prime Minister, Sir Edmund Barton, former Premier Neville Rand, Justice Michael Kirby, just to name a few, and of course our very own Reg Arnott. Dad worked for many years at Austral Bronze Crane Copper, where he worked his way up to be the third highest in the company. This was a great achievement, seeing as he was completely self-taught, but not surprising as he had a natural flair for all things mechanical. Dad was one of the smartest people I know and was always inventing things. As children, Terry and I remember him tinkering in his garage and coming up with some extraordinary things. One example was a grass vacuum cleaner, and I remember our friends coming around and asking what he was doing out the back, and we would just reply, vacuuming the grass, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Dad invented this years and years before the blower vac that many people use today. He was well before his time. And had he painted it, he would have been a very wealthy man. He was known around the local neighbourhood for his general ingenuity and was affectionately named Gyro Gearloose, which was a character out of the Donald Duck cartoons. As you all know, Dad had an affinity with the water, and Terry and I were raised around boats. As I said earlier, Dad's father, Arthur, was a professional fisherman, and as children we remember huge fish and sharks being strung up on the boat. To young children, though, it's pretty confronting scenes. And Dad continued the boating tradition for his whole life, up until he was well into his 90s and still had a boat moored in Empire Bay. From very young ages, both Terry and I would be dragged out in the boat while Mum and Dad fished for hours on end, and we would be bored to snorks. And these weren't large boats, probably around 12 to 14 feet in the old scale, so imagine two lively kids having to sit quietly and still so as not to scare the fish. There were no iPads or electronic games in those days, so we had to amuse ourselves quietly. Each year we spent our family holidays travelling up to Newcastle and the Central Coast to visit family and go camping. We have many fond memories of us spending time with our cousins, grandparents, aunts and uncles. And I'm sure many of you would remember the old highway from Sydney to Newcastle as 1 or 2 lanes, bumper to bumper traffic, no air conditioning in the car, cars overheating and tempers fraying, particularly Dad's. And there'd be Mum and Dad, Terry and me and the dog, sweating to death on that very long trip. Not like today's highways and cars, but somehow we all got through it. We survived and managed to have some great family holidays. Mum and Dad were married for 30 odd years, which came to an end when Mum sadly died at age 51. Dad and Pat worked together for a number of years, and after Mum's passing, got together and spent approximately 37 years until Pat passed. They too went on many caravanning trips and travelling overseas, and I'm sure Sharon will probably elaborate more on that later. Right up until last week, Dad would say how lucky he was to have 2 families that loved him. In his latter years, Dad met Elaine, and they were smitten with each other, like a couple of teenagers, and it was very cute to see. There are many funny stories about their time together, and they were lucky that they found each other at this late stage of their life. But sadly, there were those that chose to keep them apart, which caused Dad a great deal of distress, an act that none of us will ever understand. Dad was a man's man, but he loved the company of women. He wasn't a womaniser. He genuinely liked the company of women, young and old. He loved to tell stories, and right up until the end, he was telling these stories. A couple of years ago, I convinced him to write a journal of his life, which he did, and he wrote about 40 foolscap pages. He said that when he started, he couldn't stop writing, but then the words suddenly stopped and he didn't finish it. But I think that was around the time he met Elaine, so he had other things on his mind. But he wrote down some precious memories of his life, and I hope one day to be able to write it up for him. Throughout his life, Dad saw many changes in the world. He would have been 95 next month, and to the day he passed, his mind was still as sharp as a tack, but sadly his body failed him. He had a good life, and in the end he went exactly as he wanted, to die at home with family by his side. Although he may be gone from this world, his legacy will live on through the memories he created with our mum, Pat, and their children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Rest well, Dad. Thank you. Can I open it? Yep, you can have it. Yep.
Sharon, would you like to come now?
Thank you, everyone. Reggie, Uncle Reggie and Great Uncle Reggie came into our lives 42 years ago. He proudly wore all those hats as a loving partner for my mother, always reliable and supportive towards her, and they both together lived a life of adventure. As Reg to me, he was always there, without complaint, fixing cars, giving advice on repairs and maintenance, of which I didn't really listen to very much, unfortunately. He helped us move houses and anything that we needed, his special touch to fix. Always keen to hear what the grandkids were up to as well. To my sister Carol, her daughter Mia and her daughter Maddie, he always inquired about them and was really, really pleased when he'd heard that they were doing well. Reg was never happier than tinkering under the house in the beloved man shed. He always had a project he was working on. As Uncle Reggie, Anika and Kieran loved their holidays with him and Mum, always came back with loads of stories and laughs. These stories etched in their minds forever. Reg played a special part attending birthday parties, dressing up as Santa at Christmas. On one occasion when playing Santa, Anika, unbeknown to us, caught me giving Santa a hug and kiss goodbye, which left Anika in tears, calling out, "Mummy's kissing Santa," and leaving everyone else in stitches. Also too, Reg and Mum so enjoyed babysitting when needed, which involved taking Daniel, grandson number 2, to Meals on Wheels. As Great Uncle Reggie, when it was the grandsons' time for getting their licences, Reg proudly gave them full instruction for the care and maintenance of the said vehicle when it was handed over. Reg always made great efforts and was eager to attend any special events for Alex, Tom, Josh, Daniel and Giselle, including birthdays, football and dance concerts, and would eagerly brag about how proud he was of them. Reg so enjoyed his life experiences, he had an amazing memory and took great joy in retelling his many adventures, especially the ones with Mum, myself and Anika and Kieran. Sailing trips on the harbour, we did a beginning of the Boxing Day Sydney to Hobart sailboat, crabbing on Lake Macquarie, water skiing. On the Hawkesbury were frequent events. Reg definitely had a good dose of salt in his blood and found his adventure partner in Mum. Mum was always the instigator when they were out in the bush, encouraging Reg to climb great heights to reach the biggest staghorn or elkhorn for their ever-growing native garden. I have vivid memories of them stopping off at my house on the way up the coast, truck loaded up with Shadow, which was a Great Dane Cross Labrador, a cockatoo named Arpy, which was an acronym for Reg and Pat. Anyway, the animals were all tucked away in the cruiser, and there was there was homebrew on the roof to last the whole holiday. Quite a sight to see. And the second, oh, right, thank you. Before moving to the coast, Reg worked for Arnott's Biscuits. The kids were really impressed with the bags of biscuits presented at each visit. I think we all put on a few pounds while he was working there. After moving from Concord to Empire Bay, Reg and Mum made great friendships with the members of Boudai Peninsula Seniors Association. Meals on Wheels, Marine Watch and the local neighbourhood. Friendships they treasured, especially Pam and Santo Consoli, Margaret Thomas, Pam Murphy, Bess and Merv, and Maureen and Warwick. In recent years, Reg developed a caring and loving relationship with Elaine, who lived also in Empire Bay. Neighbours were very impressed with his daily visits to her on his infamous red bike, asking after him when they didn't see it any longer. To say that we're lucky to have him to be part of our family is an understatement. It is a blessing I am truly grateful for, and he'll be with us for the rest of our lives. Thank you, everyone.
Some beautiful memories there. We're actually going to pause the service for a moment now, and we're going to put some more memories up on the screen as we show the slideshow. You've all come today with your own memories, many happy memories, and now hopefully we can add some more memories to that as well. Thank you.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection.
And you find your grandmother and I did travel a lot. We travelled the boat.
Yeah.
We had some fun in the boat up Hawkesbury and at sea. But your grandmother used to go down the cabin, no matter whether it was rough and anything, and crush her. Still crush her. Yeah. No matter how. Oh. We had a cat.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, the cats are okay going to sea. Don't believe it. I can tell you now. I took the cat to sea. Just look out there. The cat started to be sick.
I was starting to be
Food and shit everywhere.
Really?
All
I got seasick. The cat got seasick.
I'm on the wheel. I couldn't let go. Pat was down below. She didn't. She said, "Oh, I'm going up there."
I'm not going out there.
Oh, look! You should have seen the poor little bugger.
Could you imagine Puss just freaking out, spewing the shit in that room?
He stuck the high heaven.
Oh my god. A cat gets seasick, that's hilarious.
I had a dog. There's a photo
Yeah.
of the cockatoo and the Labrador.
Yeah.
Both of them together on the big boat
Yeah.
knew that they weren't allowed down the cabin.
Yeah.
So they both together would be up. Well, we'd be in the cabin. They would be up on the top step together.
And the cockatoo wouldn't fly away.
And just look at this. No, he wouldn't fly away.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly.
Contemplate my fate. Do they know the places where we go when we're gray and old? 'Cause I have been told that salvation lets their wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed,
Beautiful memories there. It is now time to commit Reg's physical body to the elements. But before we do so, let's be thankful and grateful for his life. Let's remember the impact that Reg has had on each of your lives. You'll each remember Reg's life by the memories that he leaves behind. Those of us who feel deeply may grieve deeply. We came into this world with nothing and we depart with nothing. However, it's the memories that we leave behind with our family and friends that mark our life's success. Reg, as you watch over those who you love, we know that they will listen to the ocean. It'll be your whispers they hear. You're watching over your family and guiding them towards the future. This is not goodbye, but thank you. Thank you for touching our lives and giving us joy. Thank you for the memories. We will cherish them forever. Thank you for the good times and for the loyalty to family and friends. Thank you for your love and for your laughter. Your life we honour, your departure we accept, and your memory we cherish. We grieve at your death, but we have gratitude for your life, for the privilege of sharing it with you. We now tenderly commit the body of our loved one Reg for cremation. As your spirit and soul rises from your earthly being, know that your family and friends are here to farewell. Earth to earth, dust to dust, we bid you farewell. We've come together to farewell to the Reg you know, but we now greet the Reg who will live on in our thoughts and the memories we cherish. We rejoice in the happy memories of his life. We are grateful that he has lived. We are grateful that we have seen his face, heard his voice, felt the touch of his hand, and shared the love and friendship. On behalf of Terry, Gay and Sharon, thank you all again for coming here today, both physically in the chapel and also those who are joining us online. The family would also like to say a huge thank you for the love and friendship that each of you have shown to Reg during his lifetime. Typically at this time of the service, I'd be inviting you all to get together as a family for a cup of tea or coffee and share some memories and stories. However, COVID has stolen this very special part of the day. However, it's still very important that you find a way to share those memories. You've all arrived today carrying memories. You've each shared a moment, a time, a place with Reg. Please find a way to still share these memories with one another. That is what will keep Reg living on in your thoughts and hearts. Thank you, Matt.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord say your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. Don't worry, be happy. I give you my phone number. When you worry, call me. I make you happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no gal to make you smile. But don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, don't do it. Be happy. Put a smile on your face. Don't bring everybody down like this. Don't worry. It will soon pass, whatever it is. Don't worry, be happy. I'm not worried.